object of TaxiChronicles is to allow real riders with real stories share their experience and enhance your life. So sit back and enjoy the journey. Morning. Yes, we're back with another episode, another rider. Today we are honoured to have Alex in the house. He's Nigerian and he is studying to be a banker. So before we criticise him, let's hear him out. No, really, he is studying to be a banker at King's, and his sister's a lawyer, but his family are all medics, like doctors in that field. As you know, Nigerians always have more than one degree and a very prestige profession. And we're just going to have a chit chat. We're talking about Nigeria and the prosperities. So let's see what he has to say. Yeah. Nice to have you here today, Alex.
Thank you so much, Simon, for having me.
It's okay. So tell us, you believe Nigeria has potential.
Yes.
So tell us what kind of potential it has, and then you can lead on to your family's experience of what it's like, how they've invested in Nigeria.
Yes, of course. So what I meant by potential is Nigeria has a really young population, I would say, and they're really prominent in the tech field. And I feel like technology right now is where the potential lies, and Nigeria has so many amazing, aspiring people in the tech market, but they don't really have the support from the government, the funding, the sponsorship to kind of realize their talent on a larger scale. So that's why I feel like Nigeria has massive potential, and someone who's kind of interested in global markets, that's kind of where I dedicate my reading to, is specifically my hometown of Nigeria.
Okay. So your family's in the medical industry, your father owns a lot of land. What's been his experience?
Yeah, for sure. So he makes regular trips back to Lagos to check in on his properties, and his experience is it's obviously a lot harder to kind of get things going, get the engine working, and purely down to the politics that Nigeria has. So for instance, the people he kind of employs normally are his family members, but then I think a lot of people can attest to this, is sometimes family isn't the best people to have under your employment. Sometimes he was telling me stories how just a lot of issues arising with deadlines being missed and appointments not being met. So that's kind of the experience that he kind of tells me and kind of shares to our larger family.
So in essence, because I've had similar experiences, but I didn't employ family, I employed what I would deem as friends when I was living in Kenya. Mm-hmm. It's just best to employ the best person for the job.
100%.
So if you were going to invest, obviously dealing with you're learning to do in the banking industry, yes, how would you invest and why?
Yeah, I love getting that question because that's something I had to practice for my interviews. So I think the audience would be familiar. There's kind of two ways you can invest. You can invest in equities, which is stocks, or in the debt market. So if I had a pot of money, I would invest in maybe 50% equities, 50% debt, just because I feel that's always the safest option, is to just kind of invest in both different markets. I think real estate as well. I wouldn't invest in, I'd say the UK market primarily for the real estate, just because I think the house prices kind of cater towards that.
If you were, sorry, just to make it a bit more specific, if you was to invest in Africa.
Oh, Africa, yes. Oh, okay.
What would you invest in and why?
Yeah, I would invest in a basket of African currencies. So you obviously have all the different countries in Africa, and their currencies are weighted differently. I wouldn't do one particular country's currency. I'd do a basket of them. And why? I think the African continent is considered an emerging market, where because there's still a lot of speculation and people don't know about the real potential that continent holds. I think that's where I would invest, in particular African currencies. And yeah, I think primarily that's what I would do in the emerging market space. And then I would also throw a few investment into equities, especially in the US.
Give us an idea, when you say this basket of currencies, give an idea of what are some currencies that you'd throw in there.
Yeah. Ooh, that's a good question. I think firstly it depends on how much money I have in the beginning. if I have like unlimited funds, I'd probably take more risks in terms of the currencies.
So you've got 54 countries.
54 countries, yeah, exactly.
So what would you do? Would you take the top 5? And what countries would those be?
Oof. I know that obviously as well, because I do economics, we study like a bit of economic history as well. I think Botswana, I think if I'm correct, they're okay right now in terms of financially. So I don't know, I haven't really put too much thought into that, but the idea you gave of maybe the top 5, that's always a safe bet. But I'd also want to look at a few more like differentials. So that's why up and coming. That's why I threw in Botswana. I need to double check, but I think Botswana, when we studied that country in particular, they're doing good.
So my first thoughts would be SA, South Africa.
Yeah.
It would be Nigeria.
Nigeria, of course.
Kenya. And I'd throw in Rwanda there.
Rwanda, yeah.
But in the risk-taking countries, but with strong, with main natural resources that you can't do without, would be DRC.
Yeah.
It would be Southern Sudan. And what else would it be? I'm thinking of it. I don't know too much about the other parts of Africa, but those would be the ones because I know they have heavy natural resources.
They do.
And that would be probably my top 6.
Yeah.
6 or 7.
6, 7, yeah.
We're there. I take it you seem a bit impressed with my decision.
Not impressed. I'm just like, I enjoy people who know what they're talking about a lot. So
thank you.
No. But
I take that as a compliment. Yeah, I must vlog about this situation. So you said you spoke about your sister being a lawyer and your family embraced it because your dad needs to be able to sort out things legally.
That's not the reason why he supported her, but
okay, yes,
I guess it's a plus.
You know, it's a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
Okay, in that respect. Have you ever thought about being a lawyer?
I think I was always interested in TV programs that had to do with law, but in terms of as a profession, no, I was not too keen on going to law school and extending my like studying. I think I was happy to just do like the 3 years undergrad and then go straight to work. I'm quite a hands-on practical person. I enjoy studying, but not too much.
You've been to Nigeria?
I have, yeah.
Many a time,
but in terms of the last time I was there, it was quite a while ago. I would say maybe 5 years ago was the last time I visited properly.
You take in consideration the last 3 years have been upside down. So
yeah.
It's not like that. When you're there, I take it, do you look for business potential? You look at if you used to set up a business, what you could do?
I think I kind of, because my dad's kind of taken me under his wing within his like real estate. So I haven't, as of yet, kind of gone in with the mindset of looking for business opportunities. But now I'm 20, I think definitely the next time I go, I would 100% take that outlook for sure.
You've been 15 then.
Yeah.
I see. What do you reckon the future of Africa is?
I'm still one of, I think, the very few optimists within Africa, like within the African continent, because a lot of people think that with the current leadership in place that there isn't a lot of like hope for the future, but I've always been an optimist, so I still remain hopeful. I think you mentioned earlier in the talk that there's this concern on whether the younger generation will become just like their parents and their grandparents, but I think differently. I think they might have a change of heart. There might be a new leadership in place, someone who's more radical, more liberal with his ideas or her ideas. So I'm really hopeful, and I might be naive there, but it's because someday I want to return and like set up shop in Nigeria, so I'm still very hopeful.
Okay, so the glass is always half full.
Yes, it is.
I always say this to people: the elders, the old regime, they're going to die out.
Mm-hmm.
Now the question is, will their generation, as in, because we know you have, if someone is in power, they usually try and put their children in power.
They do.
To carry on their legacy.
Yeah.
But those children are usually educated overseas.
Yeah, they are.
So will they follow their parents' trend of internal theft and allowing corruption and all these, or will they be more conscious?
Yeah.
Because if you noticed today, and yesterday, there was published that Jamaica's going to leave.
Yes. Yeah. Commonwealth.
Now, finally, after 400 years of slavery and 200 years of being mistreated, they realised, we don't actually need these people. They're not doing anything for us. They're not doing any infrastructure. They just build a prison. That kind of thing. Barbados did it before us. Obviously, I'm Jamaican.
Yeah.
Heritage from that thing. Now that comes from social media.
It does.
Because people are communicating as the black diaspora with the motherland and all these other things, and people saying, no, we shouldn't put up this, and they're getting attitudes, well, they're speaking up for themselves.
Yeah.
So if you're like the Nigerian president's son, you will see that on social media. And you may look at it and think, well, I don't need to be like my father. I want to actually be loved by the people and help. It may sound very optimistic, but we have seen presidents and leaders in Africa who do work for their people's interests.
They do.
Now, the older generation, they either got killed by the British and the French, Kwame Nkrumah, and Sankara, and obviously we had the 4 people killed the other day. I don't know why I'm laughing, I was really pissed, beat off with it. But to me, I believe I'm in the camp with you where I see every potential going forward.
Yeah.
In that respect. But the question to you is, are you just going to do real estate? Are you going to do banking? Because you can do business over here.
Yes.
But that doesn't necessarily contribute over there.
It doesn't, no, it doesn't.
So this is why we talk about investing
in Africa.
And putting your money where your mouth is.
Yes.
You know you're going to get headache, you know you're going to get some problems, but the ideal thing is to find an industry where you don't get that. So what would that be? So you're the man with the business degree. I want to hear from you. The people want to hear from you. I've been babbling enough here.
Yeah, no, and I even wanted to touch upon the point you mentioned about you also being an optimist, and whether you gave that example of will a president's son follow in his dad's footsteps, or will he want to make change? And I think I agree totally with that. I think more so than ever, social media is a source of inspiration. Even among those in power, they still revert to it, use it to attract the masses. For me, I think it's always been in my plan, like I said before, to set up shop in Africa and, like you said, put my money where my mouth is. How exactly I would do that, I think starting off, I want to kind of go into finance to spread my wings and meet a lot of amazing minds and get to understand particular industries and sectors in more detail. But longer term, I would love to go down the international development route. So work for an NGO who's in Africa, because I want to be close to the people, closer to on the ground work, because it's very easy for money to just flow out and not actually go into the hands of the people who most need it the most. In terms of me, I think where my future lies is more in international development, working for an NGO, non-government organization that works hand in hand with local businesses in Africa, and sometimes even helping bridge the gap between the West, US and the UK, with amazing minds in Africa who just need that extra funding. So that's kind of my answer.
I've got a question for you there. Some countries make it very difficult for NGOs to work in their country.
They do, yeah.
And I understand. And my question to you, and I saw a documentary the other day where the guy said, why do we need you?
Yeah.
We don't need you. We just need to sort out our problems ourselves. We don't need you intervening, having your hidden agendas, trying to get us to behave a certain way that's not accustomed to our customs and culture.
Yeah.
Because your history is terrible.
Yeah.
What do you feel when it comes to that?
Yeah.
Based on what you just previously said.
That's such a good comment, because I also do some charity work for a charity called CAFOD, stands for the Catholic Agency for Overseas Development. And when I was working with them as an intern, they told us that they encountered the same problems where the local people, the natives there, said, we don't need you, you don't understand us. And I think that's because of, when you look at the people who are running these global NGOs, they're just old white men. There isn't any diversity among their ranks. So my answer to that is, I think it starts from recruitment. It starts from the people who are also promoting and marketing NGOs for the younger generation, my generation. They need to make it more appealing to a more diverse audience. So when it then comes to them going to these more niche countries with very particular customs, very particular traditions, they don't run into that same problem where they immediately are against them and it's them against us. And I think the younger generation are, especially myself, I love learning about new cultures. I also like study French at uni, like as an option. A lot of my friends do Mandarin, a lot of my friends do like more niche languages. So I think it starts with the recruitment, and it starts with rebranding NGOs and the leadership team, because I completely agree. Like if I was a native, I would take that position and that stance as well. But I still remain hopeful that in the future, the rebrand of NGO is a lot more diverse.
So you're still pro NGO?
I think there's a place for NGOs, definitely, but I see why some countries and more like local communities feel like they don't need them. I think it's like, there's always that saying that there's this African proverb, I'm sure Simon, you must have heard of it. It's like, if you want to go fast, go alone, but if you want to go far, go together. And I feel like that's what NGO is all about, but I feel like it's also the people who are running these NGOs that kind of, I see what you're getting at, but I still am hopeful.
I'll tell you, Brazil, Brazil shut their doors to the outsiders for many years. I don't know if you know this. No outsiders was allowed in. I was reading in one of their museums that, I can't remember whether it was the 18th century or 19th century, and they sorted themselves out.
Yeah.
And now they're part of BRICS.
Yeah.
I wouldn't invite people to my house if my house is messy.
Yeah.
Do you see what I mean?
Yes.
I would shut the doors, get everybody in the house downstairs in the sitting room. You're doing this, you're doing that, and do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
And once the routine and everything's tidy and order, then I can have guests over.
Yeah.
So I would say the same analogy for the continent as itself.
Yeah.
Shut the doors, and you only do business with people you really have to.
Really have to.
And they don't come and stay in your house.
Is that progressive though? I would ask you, Simon. Why?
You know why it's progressive? Because it's for a limited period of time until you sort yourselves out. You can't sort yourselves out if people are trying to steal from the back door.
Very true.
If you let them in the house and they go in the kitchen, they go in the larder and the storage room, and they go out, you take your tools, and take this and take that.
And history tells that.
Thank you, and that's what they're all doing. So you need to shut them out.
Okay.
You say, no, we don't need your embassies here. We don't need your thing. We can talk to you, but we talk to you at the border.
Okay.
You don't need to tell us how to live.
Yeah.
We won't tell you how to live.
Yeah. I think I completely agree, and I love that analogy. One thing I would say, like a comment, is that is it maybe the intention is wrong of the NGOs when they go into these communities? I feel like they should be led by the locals. Like with the analogy you said, like you would shut the house and sit everyone down. When you are ready, I feel like...
So they've been living, so to jump in there, think about this. They've been living
fine.
Science begun in their way, and they hadn't had any issues.
No.
Apart from foreigners. Think about that.
That's true.
Yeah. It's like you're in the movie, you see a drug cartel go in, and they have a new guy come in, and they start having problems.
Problems arise.
Well, you kill the new guy, and the problems will go away.
Yeah. Yeah.
You see what I mean?
No, I completely see what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a really interesting take, because I've always been pro NGO. That's the first time I've like heard a very like valid explanation for why sometimes they're not needed.
Think of, and there's got all different kind of NGOs. You've got the small man. I have a friend who's like has an NGO, and he just goes around building wells and moving our way. That's all he does. He's a black Jamaican guy, a heritage like me, and he's in Gambia all the time. That's different from the big Western NGOs, organisations. They go there and say, you must believe in Christianity.
Exactly.
You must do things that are not used to your culture, gays, transvestites, all these kind of things. Now, I haven't got a problem with people doing what they want to do, but you don't impose your will on other people.
You do not, no.
That's where you think, and you must take these vaccinations. You must do this and you must do that, even though your immune system may be stronger than ours.
Yeah.
Do you understand?
Well, they don't take into consideration the different climates and
and all these different things. So that is all problem. So why do we need you? That's what the locals are saying. Why do we need you?
Yeah.
And it's just food for thought.
It is food for thought, yeah. No, that's a really interesting perspective, and I think as a young person who has aspirations of entering, I think, yeah, it's something that needs to be on the discussion table, for sure.
I hear you. So with your father and his business, it sounds very interesting, and and the apartments and things like that. Could you ever see yourself running apartments or having?
Oh, 100%, yes. And I think it's why I was so quick to jump on that is I feel like when you have such a strong asset as, like you said, an apartment or a house, a flat, just a property itself, it gives you a lot of wiggle room to dip your finger in other asset classes. That's what I've been told. So I think real estate as a whole is something that I think everyone should have some portion of, no matter how big or how small. I think real estate is probably the number one asset class which I think opens the most amount of doors. I think just through the interactions, the people you meet, you're dealing with so many different stakeholders that, so to answer your question, I would, when I have the capacity to, it's probably the first thing I would do in terms of making an investment.
Okay, that's good. And you've been a great guest. When your father talks about issues that he has, do you recommend him solutions? And if so, what are they?
Yeah, I think my whole family recommends solutions. My mum's very vocal. I think that's...
What Nigerian woman isn't?
Exactly. I think I have recommended solutions in the past, but I feel like it's because it's such a intimate problem when it has to do with family. I think there's only so much you can say. So to give an example, say it's a close family member who's the one causing the problems. What solutions can you really give when it's a very one-to-one personal relationship with my dad, and I may not have met that person, so I don't know their good side as well as their bad side. But when it's more black and white issues, me and my mum, my older sister, we all chip in with solutions and just give our dad more cards to deal with, and think of her a more bulletproof solution.
Okay. That's interesting. I will add to this from my experience. I sit people down and I say, listen, we're trying to make money here. I can't pay you if you don't do what I need you to do. So if you can't do what I need you to do, then tell me now, and we can go our separate ways.
Exactly.
Or you can play ball and we can all make money. Because the idea is that I want to pay you more than you're getting paid now.
That's a good point.
Yeah. And then if afterwards they start behaving a certain way, I said, remember our conversation? Third time I'm not saying nothing.
Yeah.
Third time I'll say, don't worry, I'll take the laptop or whatever I had, don't worry, it's okay, you go, you stay at home.
Yeah.
I don't, it's alright. And they say, oh, please, come on.
Yeah.
No, it's alright, you go. You've had your chances. But you've got to be, business is business. And when you employ anybody who's family, you've got to make that clear.
Yeah.
This is business, it's not friendship.
It's not friendship.
Family, it's business. It's loyalty for family.
Yeah.
That's why you got the job.
Yeah.
You're not fit, not necessarily the best for the job, but I believe you can do it.
You can do it.
You can do it with our support.
Yeah.
If you're not getting the support you need to tell us. We'll give you more. But we expect an outcome and a standard.
Yeah.
And that will be my thing.
Yeah.
I had many, many practices of this.
Yeah.
So I lived in Kenya, had my own businesses. I had a car hire, fleet of tuk-tuks, a gym and a clothing line.
Oh wow, gym.
Yeah, and stuff like that. So. But anyway, so we spoke about your family, we spoke about the business aspects, and we covered about the future. If you could invest in any country, one country and one country alone, what would you say at this present moment is the safest country to invest in?
That's a good question. One country only right now.
This is a test to see if you've done your research.
It is the safest country right now.
To invest in Africa.
Yeah.
And
I think this might turn heads, maybe because I'm Nigerian. But I would say Ghana. And why Ghana is, I remember when I was doing a project, it was like a comparative project, and I compared Nigeria and Ghana. Ghana trumped Nigeria in a lot of, in the terms of political stability, I think, with the president, and just like his plans. So I would say Ghana as a country right now, maybe my research is outdated, but I'm going with my gut. I would say Ghana right now. And why? Yeah, I think I just stick with the fact that in terms of the stability of the country, and I guess sometimes you have to believe in who's steering the ship. I think the president, I think his name's Nana. Yeah, and social media, once again, if we come back to it, I've seen, speeches, and then also how invested Nana is in the younger generation in Ghana. And I think he does this like surgery where a lot of like young Ghanaians can like propose ideas, propose bills, and he has like a team, a department within his like cabinet which deals with that. So I just think they're taking a more active approach in hearing the voices of the younger people. So yeah, that would be my answer. But I think if I had time to dwell on that question, perhaps I would give a different one. But yeah, I'm sticking with my gut. I would say Ghana.
Okay, I understand why you say Ghana. I did really like that president up until the point where he said the West can practice vaccinations on these people.
Yeah, there we go.
I wasn't happy with. I looked at him like, really? You've just gone from top 10
exactly
to minus 10.
Minus in the.
Very disappointed.
Yeah.
I can't.
What about you? Yeah, how would you?
I would say Rwanda.
Rwanda, yeah, you mentioned him earlier.
He handles the foreign powers very well.
Yeah, he's really good.
They're still interested in investing. And from Rwanda, I can get to Kenya very quickly to see the kids.
Yeah.
In that respect, but also we're talking hypothetically, so investment doesn't mean you have to necessarily be there all the time.
Yeah.
But he's got more law and order in his country. You're not going to have to worry about paperwork being corrected.
Yeah.
Or forged, or people coming and claiming this and that. And as an investor, it takes 1 day to become an investor in that country.
Yeah.
Paperwork. And it's all done through a computer
That's
system.
a quick turnaround.
That is phenomenal.
Yeah, it's huge.
That is phenomenal. There's no people in the middle trying to bribe you and all the issues that we have in certain parts of the continent today. And that would be why.
Yeah, but Rwanda.
But apart from that, it's been great talking to you.
Thank you so much.
And we wish you well. So
wish you all as well.
Hopefully we'll have you on again another time. We hope that episode enhanced your life. We post an interview every day as well as vlogging on our social media channels. Don't forget to subscribe to get our latest episode.